Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the show. It's great to have you here today on this Mindset and Motivation Monday. One of my favorite ways to start the week is to talk about something that is going to inspire us to take that next step forward. Many of us know that the way that we're going to be able to get the life that we want is to begin to take the actions that we know that we need to take in order to achieve our destiny or our purpose or something that we believe we have passion about, that we were willing to pursue, put in the work, and enjoy the journey. But part of what stops us is insecurities. And that's what I want to talk about here today, because so much of the time they lie below the surface. We don't always believe that we may be insecure people, but we very may well be acting insecure in many of our actions. So what I want to do here today is I don't want you to judge yourself. Life should not be about judgment. It should not be about good or bad or somehow that you messed up. Really, what we want to talk about is this. We want to look at, do you have more of the qualities right now in your life of someone that is confident and courageous and goes after their dreams? Or are you acting a little bit more out of fear? Are you acting as someone who has more insecurities than they do confidence? And if you do, that's okay. And here's why I want to say that it's okay. Because you're listening to a podcast right now, which means that you are willing to work on yourself. You're willing to become better. You want to be a better version of you, not compared to anybody else, but you want to be your 2.0. You want to be that next level, which I think is fantastic, and it's one of the best goals that you can have. Not reaching someone else's level, but your next level for yourself. And even if you see yourself and you want to get to 10 levels from where you are right now, just keep in mind, be patient, because before you get to that 10th level, you still need to get to the next one. You still need to get to the second, and then the third, then the fourth. Now you're allowed to move through those stages as quickly as you would like. That's the great thing. And part of it will come from exuding the qualities of a confident person. And you might say, well, I'm not confident. I don't know how I would ever be confident. I've never been confident. Well, the nice thing is, as you begin to hear the qualities of a confident person and the qualities of an insecure person, you can begin to see if you would be able to embody those qualities in the future. Some will be more difficult than others, but I want you to keep in mind, there is that great phrase, fake it until you make it. Now, you're not pretending to be anybody but yourself, but what you're doing is you're actually acting as if you've already achieved that next level. You're acting as if you are the confident person that has already achieved the goal that you aspire to, because if you do not act as if you have already achieved that goal, then you continue to reinforce in your subconscious mind a lack that you do not have and that you do not have the goal for which you desire. So if you desire something, that in and of itself tells your subconscious mind you don't have it. So you are further reinforcing a lack that you don't have this goal. And so what are you going to get? You're going to get more of not having the things that you want. So what we need to do is suspend disbelief and act as if. We want to move forward in life as someone that already knows that it is done, it's already happened, and it's on its way to you. So it's time to begin to act as if you are that confident person, that you've let go of your insecurities. You know that they're there somewhere in the background, but you do not allow them to manifest in your life, because that is not the life that you choose to live any longer. So let's begin to look through those qualities. Let's begin to explore them and see if you may have more of the qualities of confidence or more of the qualities of insecurities. And that's okay. Again, if you have more insecurities, well, we're just going to shift that tide a little bit more into the areas of how you can be a more confident individual. So let's begin to go over this nice little list that I put together for you here today. Let me pull it right up. And the first one is this: a confident person gives compliments. A person that is insecure is more, I would say, seeking validation. They are looking and saying, hey, look at me over here. Didn't I do great? But that person that is willing to showcase someone else in their family, their community, on their team is someone that exudes more confidence. So just be mindful if you are someone that typically tries to shine the spotlight on you or if you shine the spotlight on others. A confident person will give that spotlight, that shine to someone else as well. A big one is this: do you consider yourself open-minded to new ideas, or are you closed off to the potential to anything else, what you believe is right, and that's all there is to it, right? So a lot of people believe that, it's either this diet or nothing. It's this political affiliation or nothing. It's this, way of living or nothing. So I just want us to look at, being confident does not mean that you need to change your mind or change your beliefs. That is not what it means. It simply means that you're confident enough in yourself that you're willing to listen to the other side, because you don't believe that you're just going to be swayed one way or another. And also, your ego is not attached to the actual belief. That's really important to look at that. All right. This is a big one in business and relationships and life and everything. And it goes like this: are you a person that's open and willing to learn from others? Or are you closed off? Meaning, do you already know it all? And I'll be really truthful with you, as I do believe earlier in my life, I was a much more insecure person. So back in the day, I would listen to what was going on around me, but if someone tried to share with me some other way of doing something, I wasn't open to listening to it. I really wasn't, because that somehow meant that what I was doing was wrong, or that I wasn't validated in who I was, or it was somehow a shot at my security and ego and a threat to basically my survival, right? So over time, though, I began to, again, practice the qualities of confident people. I began to practice the qualities of being more open-minded. It did not happen overnight, but I can tell you for sure, I might still very strongly believe in what I believe. I do have strong beliefs, but I am open and willing to hear out that other side. And there have been multiple occasions where I have been completely blown away, surprised, and very happy that I had that conversation. And yes, my beliefs did change because of that. It does not happen all the time, or I would even say that often, but I love to hear other ways of doing things. And I don't keep myself closed off any longer. Okay, big one is this: a confident person will say, you know what, that's my bad. That's my mistake, my fault. Whereas an insecure person, they won't even see it as their fault. If it was their fault, they won't own up to it. And it's very difficult for them, very slow process for them to apologize, admit they're wrong, if ever they do that. It's really not a good thing either, because there's no growth that comes from that. What I try to do is, again, I like to live life fast. I really do. And I make mistakes. And I typically then apologize to my team. I apologize to my wife. I apologize to my kids. I apologize to whatever it might be. They're not egregious. Like, I don't purposely do anything wrong. But when it happens, I say, yeah, that was on me. Okay, yeah, that was on me. I'm sorry. I recognize it. I'm going to make sure, I'm going to do my best. It might happen again, but I'm going to do my best to make sure I don't repeat that same mistake. I'll make others, but I'll do my best to make sure I don't repeat this one. It is so much healthier, and people will respect you so much more, and they'll probably like being around you so much more if you say, that one's on me. That's my bad. Even if maybe it was 50-50, take ownership. It's okay. Taking full responsibility of your life, which I've realized is the number one thing. Taking full responsibility of your life allows you to move faster through life than anything else. And the reason is this, that if you take full responsibilities, well, you own your wins. And if you take if you take full responsibility of your life, you also own your losses. That means, well, you lost there, meaning, it was a mistake. It was a bad day. Do better. That's it. You can do better. You can learn from that. And then what you do is you accumulate these small wins. You look at your losses, not really losses, but learning opportunities, and that allows you to grow. And if everything is your responsibility, well, now you don't pass anything off to anybody else. Sure, you'll ask for help, but you say like, hey, if it is to be, it's up to me, right? I need to make sure I put myself in the position to succeed with health, with body, with relationships, with spirituality, and career. Like those are my 5 that I can fit everything else pretty much into, right? There's passions, there's things like that, but I can kind of fit them all into different places. So you have to understand that 100% of responsibility, take ownership for mistakes, admit them to others. Again, like that allows everyone to grow. When you admit you're wrong, people are like, whoa, okay, well, if they're admitting they're wrong, maybe it's okay to admit that I'm wrong sometimes. So be that person, right? Rise above, be that role model. All right. And going along the same lines as this is that don't ever be afraid to show that you have some flaws. This took me, I would say, absolutely until my, I would say, early 30s for sure. Like I without a doubt. And I say that because this was an insecurity, meaning like if I showed people my flaws, they might think less of me. And if they think less of me, well, then I'm somehow then going to not be shown love, or I'm not worthy, or I'm not worthy of respect, or any of these things, right? These are survival-based things. I do hope that you tuned into my show on Maslow's hierarchy of needs and the 3 deeper levels now of self-actualization. I really hope that you tuned into that because these threats to us, showing our flaws, can feel like basic needs, like survival-based needs. So it's really important to look at that. The next one is this. And again, you don't have to show everybody every flaw. I just want to mention that. That's okay. You don't need to get that deep into the equation, but you can just let people know, like, listen, you're not perfect at this, or, you might just be starting out. I work with a lot of integrative health practitioners, and, I teach them, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to know everything. You don't have to be, the perfect even coach right out of the gates. What you need to do is know who you work well with, know what your expertise is, and begin to share that with the world and share that with certainly people that you have far more expertise than. So that's very, very important. All right, the next one is this. This is one of the biggest ones for me. I think it's a massive differentiator, and especially the people that I love spending more time with. People who think positively get more out of life. That's the bottom line. I try to share that with people. I was sharing this the other day with someone I'm very close to, and I said to them this. I said, you might have already worked through all of the issues that you've had from childhood or relationships or whatever it might be. You might be good there, but now there's another 50% to that. And that's, you already looked back. Now, what are you doing to look forward? Because oftentimes we are not positive enough about our future. We're worried, we're anxious, we're overwhelmed. I get it. There's a lot to be worried, anxious, and overwhelmed about. But the difference is this. You're not going to know the future either way. You can't predict it, but you can do a lot better job predicting the future if you begin to keep yourself in a positive mindset, which allows you to have more positive thoughts, which then allows you to have more positive feelings, which then allows you to be more motivated, which then allows you to take more positive actions. And someone who thinks more positively, feels more positive, and takes positive actions is way more likely to achieve their dreams than someone else who's a negative thinker. And I do hope that you would agree with me on that. Now, I don't think that is necessarily steadfast for everyone, but I'd be willing to say 99.9% for sure. Think positive, feel positive, do positive, get more positive results. And even when things are negative, begin to see what positive could result from this. It's difficult, but if you practice it, it'll make a huge difference in your life. This next one, really, it is something that, again, I love being around positive people. Now, I'm around some negative people because I'm around a lot of sick people, and I understand that. I don't hold anything against them. When you're sick, you're sick. You don't feel well, but again, you still have to pull that positivity, that self-belief, that success mindset out, right? That's that last part of the de-stress protocol. But what I really can't be around are the people who I can't, I won't, and even worse, talk negatively about people that are doing it, or at least trying. If someone is trying and failing or not doing great, please don't talk about them, right? They're out there trying. They're out there doing their best. Maybe they're not their best version yet. I know for myself, just starting this video podcast, not going to be as great. Not going to be as great as it will be that I believe that it can be a year from now. But I have to start somewhere. The very first 20 podcasts I did, probably very little energy, probably really monotone, probably super boring to listen to. You know, I just got better at being me. I got better at my craft. I learned along the way. I had to start somewhere. But the gossiping about other people and just the I can't without even trying, that to me deflates my sales. Nothing sends me further in the other direction faster than someone that isn't just willing to try. Try and fail. That's what life's all about. Try and fail. The more failures, the better. I was talking about that to my daughters the other night. I said, listen, and I try every night at dinner, I try to teach them just a little something until I see their eyes glaze over. And then this is what I said. I said, the point of life is to try as many things as you would like, see what you do enjoy, and don't be afraid to fail. A lot of people say when they mess up, well, then that means they can't do it. That is not true at all. Messing up is just one more way that isn't the right way. And if you stick with it long enough, there is no way that you're not going to figure out what the right way is. So if you enjoy something and you don't get it right the first time, that's okay. That's all part of the process. Try a lot, fail a lot, do a lot, grow, learn, and you will succeed. There's just no doubt about that. Now, another thing that goes more along with the confidence rather than the security is, and again, I love being around people that have an abundance mindset, that have this big open mind to say that, hey, I might not have it now, the relationship, the health, the body, the spirituality, whatever it is, but I'm open to it. I believe that you can have it, and I believe I can have it too. I don't believe that just because you have it doesn't mean I can't get it. I don't believe in that scarcity mindset of insecure people. Insecure people believe they have to get theirs faster than someone else does because there's not enough to go around. I remember growing up, in basically a culture, community, schooling, all of that, where there was this scarcity mindset where if this person has a lot, well, they're bad. Because somehow that means that we won't then have the possibility of having that. Or just because they have it and we don't, well, then we're not like them. So then again, they're not part of us. Like, it was really tribal, and I'm not a fan of that. What I believe is this: there is an abundance of health for all of us. There's an abundance of spirituality for all of us. There's abundance in being able to take care of our bodies, get to a healthy weight, an abundance of being in a great relationship. There is that perfect person for you. And if you've already found them and the relationship's kind of gone south a little bit, it doesn't mean that it can't go back to the way that you wanted it. But all of that simply takes time and patience and work and that abundance mindset that you can have that. You can have it in all areas of your life. There are so many people who believe that when things start to go well in one area, well, something bad has to happen in another. No, it doesn't have to be that way. That is not the way that life has to be. There's certainly an ebb and flow to life, but hopefully when those negative times make their way into our life, we begin to see them a little bit differently, but also we move through them faster. That is a big belief of mine and something that I wholeheartedly try to live in my own life. Now, another big one is this, is that, and nothing, again, I'm not a fan of this because I used to embody this, but insecure people are judging everything all the time. This is good, this is bad, this person's underweight, this person's overweight, this person's prettier than me, this person's not as good looking as me, this person has better hair, this person has a better job. Like, it's always judging. It's good, better, best, all of those things. We have to release that. We have to release it. We want to be at the mindset that they're doing them and we are doing us. Anything that I achieve in my life is only judged upon my own standards and what I believe my own potential is. That's it. And also that they are unique to them and I'm unique to me. We're not supposed to be living the same life. We should do things differently. We are individuals, but also, who am I to even judge that person when I don't know anything about their life? If I see someone acting in a negative way, I'm still not going to judge because I also don't know, well, what happened to them earlier that day, right? What happened to them? They could have had one of the worst mornings that you would have ever thought. So less judgment, more acceptance of others for who they are, and also acceptance of you for who you are. I am such a happier person now because I do not judge. Now, it still seeps in there every once in a while. There's no doubt about that. That's part of that human condition, right? But we try to overcome it. But since I judge others much less, I do not feel judged myself. That's one of those benefits. Okay. A confident person can laugh at themselves and their mistakes. I think that's huge. Whereas an insecure person will actually worry, did anybody see that? Or they'll actually blame it on someone else. Like whatever their mistake was. If they tripped, accidentally, they'd be like, who put that rug there? Or who put that step there, right? They'll start to get mad at the place that their location they're in where, again, hey, I tripped, no big deal. Or you laugh at yourself or you stumble over your words. Sometimes in a podcast, I do about 10 hours of recordings a week. I'm going to stumble on some words. Things are going to happen. I might lose track. Whatever might happen, that's okay, right? We have to get to a point where it's okay, right? It's okay that we can laugh at our mistakes. We can enjoy the process. We're all on this ride together. Each of our rides are differently, but collectively, we are all on this journey together as well. All right, a confident person is someone that makes decisions quickly, not with haste. They're not making the wrong decision, but they make decisions quickly because they understand that they'll never have all the information at hand. They make the best decision with the information that they have right now, and they know that if they need to, they're able to change their mind later. I'll get to that in just a moment. So an insecure person has a very difficult time making up their mind because they never want to be wrong. Because if they were wrong, it would be a shot to their ego. And that's very important to look at that. One of the last points I want to bring you is this, is that an insecure person is always on the same path their entire life. They're essentially stuck in their ways. They live within their current comfort zone, and very rarely do they move outside that. Now, sometimes that can lead to a very safe and secure and okay life, but it's not a life that is filled with passion and purpose and ambition and drive. That's not the type of life that you'll ever get when you are holding on to the insecure principles or the insecurity-based characteristics that I want you to begin to exchange for that of a confident person. Because a confident person knows that where they are today can be drastically different in a month from now, and certainly in a year from now, and absolutely in 10 years from now. So whoever it is that they want to become, they can become. They understand that life is a journey, and the only reason we stay the same person a year from now and have the same things and get the same things is because we take the same actions, which typically stems from having the same thoughts, which typically leads to then the same feelings. And that, of course, then leads to the actions we take on a daily basis. So in order to begin to have a different life, we need to start to change the way that we live. And that means the way that we think. So we need to begin to think more like that person with a strong, confident characteristics. That is absolutely what we want. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to link up this nice little infographic. I wish I could give credit to who created it, but there's no signature on it. But I'm going to link up this infographic for you today at stevencabral.com/1683. Feel free to grab this image. It's not mine. It's all of ours to share, right? We are all learning to be better. And I'll tell you right now, even doing a show like this is going to make me learn something. It's going to make me learn more. Doing these Mindset and Motivation Monday shows allow me to learn the material in a better way, to allow it to sink in. And that's what this is all about. That's why, I do appreciate the people who tune in every day to the Cabral concept, because what we're doing is we're reinforcing principles that we understand that on a daily basis, it is the actions that we take that lead to our life, that we are truly the sum of all of our thoughts, all of our feelings, and all of our actions, which become our life. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. I appreciate you, I really do. And if this show was helpful, please do feel free to share it with anyone else you believe it could serve. Did you know that the body really only becomes sick or imbalanced in only two ways? Over time, you become deficient in vital nutrients, and you also accumulate toxins internally and from the environment. As those nutrients diminish and you increase your total toxic load, your body then begins to show the first signs of dis-ease. It's actually quite predictable, and the good news is that if we know how you began to fill up that proverbial rain barrel, we also know how to empty it to begin the healing process. I was fortunate enough to learn this ancient healing process from my mentor after suffering from debilitating diseases for close to a decade. It was only when I began to implement these techniques did I finally overcome my illnesses and go on to live a life of energy and vitality that I now enjoy. I'd like to share with you now what I discovered after traveling all over the world and how to combine the best of ancient healing wisdom with state-of-the-art science. Allow me to teach you exactly how I've been able to help over 250,000 people to empty their rain barrel and begin to transform their body and lives into what they've always hoped they could be. To get your copy of the international bestseller, The Rain Barrel Effect, simply go to stephencabral.com/rainbarrel.